And we are back once again. Thanks for tuning in to the Still Knick Fans podcast. This is episode number 16. I'm your man, Ron. That's my brother, John, right there. What's going on, bro? Welcome back.
Welcome back. A full-on Easter break. We took off.
Yeah, man. Nice little hiatus.
Yeah, it was a good time. Nice little hiatus, man. How did you spend it with the family?
We basically just chilled. We didn't do anything too crazy. Maybe went out one day to get something to eat. But didn't really do anything. We didn't do the Easter egg hunt like I thought with the Knick colors and the NBA teams. It didn't happen, so
didn't work out. Mind you, your son, who's a lot older, would have been, he would have been upset at you for trying to make him go Easter egg hunting.
Yeah. No,
like, really?
Actually, he was pretty happy throughout this time because I believe, throughout this time he got a new guitar, a new acoustic guitar. So he's a kid in a candy store for that.
That's what's up, man. I mean, we did about the same thing. We kind of kept it local. We ordered in a lot and try to pretty much chill at home and just enjoy each other's company for the most part. But didn't have much of a break myself because I worked, and so did my wife. So it is what it is.
Yeah, man, that's how it is. Like that break, it came and went just as quickly as it was around. Because it wasn't a real break. It was Easter break for the youngins
kids,
and stuff, but we had to work. So
yeah,
there's no break.
It didn't change much for us.
No, exactly. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be back. Happy to be talking about these Knicks.
We are back and we're on track.
And we're coming off of a great win, man. This was exciting tonight.
Keeping us where? At 500 basketball. What are we? Are we a game over 500?
Yeah, game over. And I think I don't know if it's official, but I saw something yesterday that we clinched a playoff spot.
Nah, don't do that.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true.
Here you go, just putting it in there. Well, listen, I'll take it. I don't know if I don't think it was time to clinch yet. I don't know if we got in there yet. But
okay.
I think we're close. I think we're right there. We're in the mix. So
all right.
Who lost? I mean, was it Charlotte? I think there was it Charlotte that lost a game today? That was Charlotte, right? Yeah. So kind of helped us out a bit.
We'll take it, Charlotte. Hey, keep the losses coming, or whoever else. Dallas, you want to lose, fine.
Yeah.
Just keep the losses coming.
Chicago, so on and so forth. The Hawks, keep losing. We'll take a couple of wins. We need all the help we can get.
And really, Dallas, what are y'all doing? Luka.
Yeah, stop. Stop.
Come on, man. At this point, we ain't gonna have no lottery picks, man.
I know. It is what it is. There you go.
But hey, man, tonight's game was great, man. I was really, there was something about it. Like there was a lot of energy in the Garden, and even though the big bad Lakers were in town,
who just came off of a big win against Brooklyn, by the way.
Right. Yes, that's right. And they played. I think they said they played 6 games and six games out of the last 8-9 days, something like that. It's been a lot of games for them or something.
So they had a nice road trip.
But it's something about the Kentucky connection that when the Lakers come into town now, it's not like the evil empire. You know what I mean? Because Anthony Davis has there, ties, and and I don't know, for whatever reason, it seemed like who's the guy with the Schroeder? Schroeder seemed to be really chummy with the Knicks too. Like they just have like a good camaraderie. Although I just want to point out LeBron was nowhere to be found. Okay.
Well, he was in the bench.
No. But when they were chopping it up on like after the game and before the game, LeBron was nowhere to be found.
He's his own guy. You know what I mean? He got his squad of representation. He can't be seen around that.
Right.
Because Kentucky has something of, I don't know, it was a CPA or CBA or something like that.
I know
something like that. So I think that's something, because he's involved in some of that. Him and his the what's the kid's name that works with LeBron, that has his own free agent.
Maverick.
Maverick, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you got he knows what he needs to do to keep himself away from those conversations. He's a smart man.
Of course.
He's a smart man.
But hey, man, this was a great game. I just wanted to say that starting off, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I was happy going through the first quarter and going into the second quarter, and at halftime, I just kept paying attention to the score. And the Knicks were shooting terribly, bro. Yet they were right in the game.
Defense really won this game, though, right? Like their defensive energy from the start to throughout the game, they were intense. They were in the game. The defense by Noel and Gibson were, just tick them over the hump. It just kept them in the game. We didn't hear much from Drummond, which was my hope to see that we would. I was really hoping, to be honest, that we would have seen some sort of traction there. But again, he went to the Lakers, so you can't fault him for that. He's chasing that ring and hopes to get a big contract. But he didn't show up today. That's for sure. He showed up against Brooklyn, but he didn't show up against us. So
yeah, he did show up against Brooklyn. And you know what? At first, I was a little bothered by it. Not really, because I know it's it's Drummond's choice, right? But
yeah,
I really am not mad at it at all when I think about it, because he really has the best opportunity possible. He can say, listen, I want to go to the Lakers and chase a ring. And if I get the ring, fine. At the end of the season, if I didn't want to be with the Lakers, I could just go anywhere I want. And yet I could still take a ring with me. It's a really good situation.
And not only that, you build any sort of camaraderie with LeBron, you set for life. Right? You think about it in that way too, right? Like you got basically the face of the franchise in LA, and then sort of the face of the NBA too. I mean, barring Curry and LeBron, you kind of 1-2 punch right there. So you getting good with those guys, or with LeBron, you're set for life. You ain't got to worry about it, regardless of whether because once you win a championship, you're connected to him automatically. And if you was a good teammate, he's going to look out for you in the future.
Right.
So it's a win-win. He could go turn it out and go somewhere else, but that camaraderie is always going to be there. It's going to be like, yo, we want to chip together, and you as a good teammate, you're my guy. So
yeah. No, you're right, bro. It's a very, very enviable position to be in, because it's like you can't really lose.
Give me a second. I'm gonna look that up in the dictionary. My bad. Oh, we're going there. I wasn't sure we was in that sort of podcast, my friend. You start drinking tea, all these big fancy words come out.
With the pinky up, man. With the pinky up. Yeah, no, I think it was really, it just was an exciting atmosphere. It just felt good. It felt like the Garden was energized. It felt like the players were in good spirits. Like Randall was definitely happy to be around Davis. I wonder if they played at Kentucky at the same time or around the same time.
No, they were like 1 year removed from each other, right? Because they both won and outs, I believe. They were kind of the one and out guys, right?
But they were on the same team when he was with the Pelicans. Yeah, exactly. That's okay.
All right, but in Kentucky, everyone's close because of all the players come back and they kind of mentor all the young players that come in and kind of get ready for the draft. So
they love Kenny Payne.
Good network. It's a good network. Yeah, Kenny Payne is the linchpin, right?
I'm glad we still got him though. I'm upset. Oh.
No, I'm not really upset that Woodson left. Woodson left.
No, I'm just upset because I don't. It's really weird to lose coaches in the middle of a season. I just think it's odd.
Nah, you gotta look at his situation, right? He's been a head coach everywhere he's been, and he's taken some backseat jobs to be, an assistant. But the chance at where is he now? He's at Indiana. Yeah, that's the Hoosiers, right? So, like, that's a legacy.
No, it's
type
a
of thing,
perfect.
Right?
I'm happy for him. I think it's a great. It's a dream job for him. Right. I just think it's really weird to watch a coach leave during the season.
Mid-season.
Yeah, that's just odd.
But I think we got enough coaching in place, and I think they brought a Kentucky guy in. So, you know what I mean?
Although, even though I'm happy with the way things turned out. But there's a chance we could have lost Johnny
Payne.
Bryant, Payne, and Woodson. That would have been crazy, dude.
Yeah, I'm just glad that they built enough chemistry with Thibodeau, to know that they got something special here. You know what I mean? Because it looks like Johnny Bryant and Kenny Payne are sticking around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it
which
looks
is
like
good.
that.
At least for the end of this year.
I think for the foreseeable future, as long as Tibbs got a job, I think they're sticking around. You know what I mean? And I could see that if Johnny Bryant specifically, if there comes a point in time where Tibbs either has to hand it over or hang it up, Johnny Bryant is the next in line, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's what
I
I'm
would
thinking.
like that. I want the Knicks to not have to worry about a coach for quite some time. And then if they do have to worry about it, I want it to be a guy who's been there and learning, so you kind of keep the same system going. Because that's what you want. That you want that San Antonio Spurs, Greg Popovich type of thing going.
Absolutely.
But hey, man, what did you think about how the Knicks showed out today against the Lakes?
Man, it was fun to watch. Like I said, I was into it. You know what I love about our most recent wins, especially in New York, is that the crowd's in it. We got the crowd action now. You're hearing it when you're watching television. It isn't fake. It's real. It's coming from the stadium, and you can see the energy go into the players. Right, you can see that transition or that transformation from the audience or from the folks in the stadium. That energy is going into the players. Randall's got a little hop on his step. When Quickly got the and one, it was like, oh, and Toppin got the alley oop. It was like, you start to hear the crowd rumble. So and a chance of defense at the back end of games, like we weren't getting that. Now you got it. So that I'm starting to see that the Knicks are feeling good at home. So which is building that home court advantage. You know what I mean? So I'm digging it. I love the win. I do have a question for you. If there was any Laker that you see playing in that game who played today, not of course outside of LeBron and AD, the folks that played on the court, who could you envision being a Knick? Like if there was any player that you wanted to take from that team and bring them over, who would that be? And the reason why I asked is because I was having a conversation with my son about it. He was just like, he kind of sparked that in like that kind of conversation. I was like, oh, this is a good one. Let me ask it here. So
no, I mean, this is simple. It's easy without question. Marcus Morris, like no, I'm just
really
no,
really we did that.
No, I'm joking. Actually, if there was anybody on that, because I really, we talked about the young guy that they have, who's, I think he's a rookie or whatever. I like that kid, but if there was anybody on that Laker team that I would want on the Knicks and I think would fit, and surprisingly, he's just gotten a lot better. I don't know if it's because I've watched his game. I see what he can do, but I don't know if it's because now he's in a real winning situation and his game has transitioned to becoming even better. I like Dennis Schroeder, dude. Dennis Schroeder looks good to me. Schroeder looks really good to me, but that's me.
That's a nice pick. I'm looking at the kid Tucker, the kid
that's
Tucker.
what I know. Tucker. That's what I was talking about.
It's like that kid seems like he's he just needs a place to be, that he's not buried in the bench and coming off the bench role. I think he would be kind of like an ideal guy as a in combination with Barrett. I would like to that would be something if in the future we could swing that one.
I like it. But honestly, I kind of feel like no, I don't want to say
he's 20 also. He's 20 years old, man.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's who Obi could be if he keeps working on his game. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, true.
I don't know, but I think Obi could be that guy, like, for us. So that's when I said Schroeder, I was just thinking Schroeder to me, I'm not saying
situation,
right? But he's also like a Ntilikina, but with an offensive game.
Right.
Because Schroeder plays good defense.
Yeah. No, he played
Especially
really
when
well
he's not
today.
hurt.
Yeah, and he played hurt.
Yeah.
Right. Although let's give props to our guy. Peyton was bringing it. Peyton had a game, man. First quarter, I was like, okay, you know. And him and Randall with the 1-2 punch, man. Randall was like 4 for 4 from the field, you know, had like 12 points or something like that. It's looking nice.
Man. Dude, I mean, look, Randall deserves big props for being the man and doing what he's got to do. If it wasn't for Peyton, we lose this game. And that's what, because Peyton hit big shots.
Well, bro. Him and Gibson, because the defense that Gibson provided.
Gibson, you know, it's funny watching Gibson. I was wondering, I'm not saying they're talking about this, but on the sideline, I was wondering, like, is LeBron saying, hey, Gibson's a really good player, man. We could have used him. Maybe not now because they got all these guys, but when they were looking for somebody, Gibson would have fit in perfect with that team. Like, that's the type of guy he likes, you know, the dirty work guys.
Right.
So I was just
go in and provide some stability in the backcourt, you know. So
yeah. Gibson is great, man. I don't know how he does it because he's old, but he's
He's got a good motor, man, and he's he's New York tough. So that's what it is. Born and bred New Yorker.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can find him, man. Hit him up. Go play on. Let's get on the court. Shoot a couple shots.
He be in Red Hook too every summer. He has a camp.
They did a camp, right? Yeah.
He has a camp. Yeah, he has a camp, and he's there. He generally shows up every summer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's dope. He's one of those guys who gives back to the community he grew up in. So that's dope. Shout out to Taj Gibson.
Oh man, Father Time.
Yep. Yeah, man. But yeah, even when we talk about like the game that was before the Knicks game, that game was amazing too. Like that kind of energy, the back and forth, that game swung, to the, it was just like a back and forth game. That entire, with John Morant and what was what's the squad?
Memphis.
Memphis, yeah, Memphis, the Grizzlies. It was like a back and forth games. The Grizzlies would take the lead, and then we'll take the lead, and it was all the way down to the wire.
Yeah.
So
no, like definitely the Knicks. Now it's no more of let's wait to see what they'll become. I think their defense is what it is now. Like now, I think everybody knows how to do Knick basketball. Like this is the plan. Everybody's bought in. We talk about this a lot, and I keep saying I think we're getting there, or I think we're starting to know how. Now, after this 10-game stretch, I think we definitely they have locked in.
Yeah, we definitely there.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that if you noticed going into this, which was great. Coming out of the half, and then going into the third quarter, the Knicks started to turn, like it started to ratchet up a little bit. And as we got into the fourth quarter, that defense was all over the place, man. These guys.
It was good to see that sort of energy, right? Like the build up of that energy, because usually we see like the third quarter be the hindrance, like that's the quarter that kind of gets us, like we'll miss some shots and then we start to fall behind. We similarly did that in the Grizzly game, but. We pulled through in the fourth quarter and came, heroically in the fourth quarter. We hit big shots, and Barrett was the man. He's been that man. Unfortunately, today it wasn't so.
Yeah, no, I mean, but he has been playing so well and been so hot. He's due to have a couple games that don't look too good, but as long as he keeps with it, the point is he was there towards the end when they needed him.
Yeah,
which was always good.
It's no quit in that kid.
And he played good defense.
Yeah, I never see any quit in the kid, even when he's not, hitting big shots or whatever,
Yeah, man.
But yeah,
that's just a big win. Very happy about it.
Huge win. We're one game over 500. We're at that area where people didn't expect us to be. You know what I mean? So. I myself didn't even expect this, so I'm sort of happy, that we're looking at a season that's great. Like, dude, we're in the mix. We're a middle of the road team. Like we're right there. We either, between 8 and 5. Throughout the entire year, we've been that. You know what I mean? So, especially with our division, but who would have thought it? We never would have thought that.
Yeah, man. And the funny thing is, things looked a little bleak, like coming into all of these games, because as you know, once we went on our hiatus, Knicks had a 10-game stretch.
Yeah, you're right. 10 game
Yeah,
stretch, and
yeah,
a lot of back and forth from city to city. No real like, no real like stretch at home games or anything like that. It was really a lot of traveling going on. You know,
yeah.
uh,
So the thing is, this game, being that
so
the last game they uh winning that last game put them at 500, right? So
right.
this game makes them one game over 500.
Yes,
Yeah.
1 game over
So
500.
that in turn means like they went 5-5 in this 10-game stretch. So
Well,
that's
let's let me pull up the schedule so we can go back in time to before once we took our break. I think the last game we uh we talked about was the Washington Wizards game, and then we went
right.
on break, and then we had like a 10-game swing. So I'm gonna populate that right now. Here we go.
Do do do
Cool.
do.
All right.
Right.
And there we go. So as we look at it, we have the Wizards. That was the game that we last talked about, and that was
Yep.
a win for us. And that was a Thursday game. And so we went right into Saturday's game when we took our, hiatus, our Easter hiatus, and we went right along into a game with the Bucks. And if I recall, my friend, you called that game a loss for our Knicks, and yours truly was like, we're gonna get that game, and we got it. Was there any? There was not a brother sighting though. That was the game where it was a brother sighting. It was not the actual, I think, the combo that we were expecting to go off on us.
This game was so frustrating to me. I was
It
so
was.
mad. Anybody who knows me, if you just listen to me talk for 10 seconds, I can't stand Giannis's brother. I do not like the Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Oh my God, he's
Thanasis.
such, man, I
Thanasis.
can't deal. And not only do the, but he was just like, oh man, I can't.
He was in all-star form.
Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. Just
I'm just glad he didn't hit a game winner. That would have been
yeah,
upsetting to the maximum. But I think I think he turned over the ball, if I can recall correctly, and then we end up
down the
getting the
stretch. Yeah, I think it
the
was an
win.
important turnover. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at it though.
No, listen, we got the win. That's basically where I was at with it. I was hoping to get the win, but also happy that Giannis didn't play
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it would have been a tough one. Um, and it didn't seem like we were playing really good basketball either in that game. Like we had a lot of you know
No,
unforced
I mean,
turnovers.
just the fact that Giannis's little brother was doing work against us shows you that the Knicks were not playing good ball. Yeah, that said a lot, man. Oh, it was bad. It
Yeah,
was
man.
bad.
So coming back to that 5-5, man, on during this break, right? That's a 10-game swing going 5-5. That's great. I mean, when you look at the schedule that we had some tough games. We had a game, okay, potential letdown game against the Bucks that we took. We won that one, but then we go ahead and face the Heat, tough team, well coached, and they were kind of knocking down on all cylinders that game. They were on it defensively, offensively. You know, I think we
Yeah,
had some
man.
moments.
We had a couple moments, but one thing I noticed about the Heat is they're very similar to us defensively.
Right.
And they've always been that way. And also, they had a lot of their guys.
Yeah,
Like,
everybody was healthy.
yeah, so I was like,
Mhm.
oh, this is tough.
Right.
And they wound up catching the L. I
Yeah.
wasn't that upset about it because I said, in my mind, I'm like, all right, well, they beat the Bucks. They lose this game. At least, I'm thinking the next game should be a chance for them to win. So it doesn't hurt as much. When you got like a possible
Right.
win right the next, day or so, you feel like, okay, it's just one game.
Yeah, I really believe that we both picked us to win against the Timberwolves. I thought we both picked a loss
Yeah.
against the Heat, and then we went into Timberwolves thinking we were going to win that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we had a tough game there, and for some weird reason, it's almost like we play up to the opposition in some cases, like the Timberwolves. I don't know, something about the games with the Timberwolves. It never seems like we can break off a large lead, and if we break off a large lead, we allow them back in the game. Which I think this was one of those games where we had about a decent lead and we lost it.
This is the RJ Barrett game. The reason why I
Yeah,
call it the RJ Barrett game is because Edwards, Anthony
right. He said
had
he
made
let
his
him
little
shoot it.
comment about about RJ. And funny enough, you kind of notice after this game, RJ turned it on.
Oh, he
He
was shooting
started.
it.
No, he went on a
Yeah,
stretch.
right.
So it's interesting.
But he didn't play bad in this game. I don't believe
No,
he
he was
did.
good. He was
He was
good. He
good.
just
He
missed
just
the
didn't hit
last
the
shot.
big shot. Right. He didn't
Yeah,
hit the big shot. Right.
and that's
But
okay. It's
yeah.
okay.
And we've seen that also with Randall. He had some big shots that he didn't hit either. So we've run across that. I think that comes with the territory of learning how to be the shot maker at the end of games. Of course, you got to be a gym rat, and I think this team right now are kind of all in this embodying that sort of mentality where they're going out, they're finding gyms to play in, and they get their shots up and shoot arounds after games. So it's going
Yeah.
to be interesting down the stretch. It'll be interesting. See what the last 10 games look like for this team and how we move into the playoffs. I think it's going to be, really, really. It'll be a telltale. It'll be the tell of whether or not we're going to make some noise in the playoffs. Like the last 10 games, if we go on a nice little winning streak,
Right.
it'll
Well,
show
I
us something.
mean, the thing is, even though they lost this game, which was another close one that they definitely could have won,
Right.
um, and Anthony Edwards made his little comments about RJ's taking the shot, like
Mhm.
them being okay with him taking the shot. At the end of the day, part of his conversation when they were interviewing him, he did mention that the Knicks play great defense. He's like,
Right.
he even said it as a matter of fact. I mean, they play really, really good defense. I feel like they're like the best defensive team in the league. And then
Right.
the reporter it was like, no, they are the best defensive team in the league. So it was pretty cool to watch that.
Yeah, it's cool. And plus, that's also like, Edwards is in this year's rookie class, right? So this is his
Yeah.
opportunity to make some noise, and I think he showed up. He really did show up for that team, and he hit big shots. He got a big steal at the end of the game. You know what I mean? And all kudos to him. But again, Barrett is like the year prior, and Barrett's been kind of like the missing guy. Like he didn't get put into the All-Star pick. He wasn't a part of that. He wasn't a part of the all. What is that called? The American All Olympic team or something like that.
And he wasn't a part of the new thing, the top 25 under 25.
Right. So he's been
I
shunned
love it.
out a couple of
Keep him
times.
out of everything.
Yeah, light the fire under him, right? Like that only is going to make him work that much harder. You know what I mean, on his game and show improve. So
Yeah.
the more they diss him, the more I think he's going to rebound from that. But you've seen, like you said, after that game, he started like lighting it up from the corner threes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude.
Outside of today's game,
Oh,
because
right.
today's game
Yeah,
was
yeah.
sort of atrocious.
I know it
But
now though. Now I've seen enough of him to say
yeah.
that. But he's 20 years old. By the time he's 23, he's gonna be a star.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. Without a
he's gonna
doubt.
be. Yeah. I could tell.
I could see him really being that sort of Jimmy Butler type player. Like there's a lot of Jimmy Butler in his game.
Mhm.
At least that's what I see.
No, I like that. That's a good comparison. That works for me.
So I'm gonna scroll up a bit. I'm gonna come off the Timberwolves game, and then we go right into what we got: Mavericks, Pistons, Nets, and Celtics.
I was really upset about this Mavericks game. Obviously, for one reason, because we need the Mavericks to lose every game they play, and the fact that you have a personal chance to make sure they lose. I was upset about it. And it's Porzingis.
This was our letdown game because we both wanted this win.
This was definitely man.
Yeah,
this wasn't good. Yeah.
And we had some spots. Again, like we had moments in this game where we were in the game and we were like, okay, we just need a couple of stops, a couple of turnovers, and then for whatever reason, we just like take a lapse on defense and make some horrible decisions on offense, and then we're against the clock again, and then we're like not hitting shots. We didn't hit shots basically in this game, open shots, and it cost us the game. So it was extremely disappointing.
This was just one of those, man. You just got to say, hey, look, the other team, they just came to play, and the Knicks didn't really come to play this night, surprisingly.
Right.
But they came to play against the Pistons. But the Pistons are horrible.
But this was a game that we did have as a win, so that's good. I think we called this game.
Yeah, we did.
We missed out on the Mavericks game. I think we called this game. And yeah, we came out ready, aggressive to play. They played good team basketball, of course. Look at the score, 125-81. So we were rocking on all cylinders, which is good because right after that game, we were going to face our rival team, across the pond and see Brooklyn. So, and this was a Brooklyn with Kyrie and Harden to start the game. When we look back at it, this is the game that Harden gets hurt in like the first quarter.
Correct. Yep.
And, and I think did Griffin play this game?
No.
Okay.
All they had was Kyrie.
And
some very good,
they have quality players
on the team.
They got Harris. They still got Andre Jordan. They still got, I don't know who else they got on that team. They got quality guys,
some names. They got some quality, and they got one guy who they just gave up. See, this is the thing. Like you look at guys because you're not that familiar. You don't know who they are, their names and stuff.
Right.
But they play hard for them. They got
something
a guy
like
on the team,
Chioso or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I can't remember his name.
Like Chioso or something like that.
They got these guys, and they play good for them. And then
they're good.
There's another guy they got too, and they just gave him a contract for a couple of years. They gave him $4 million, and he's averaging like 7 points, 5 rebounds, but he only plays like 12 minutes. So I'm like, he's,
hey, it works. It works, right? I mean, they got a star-studded team. Not everyone is playing right now. But I thought the Knicks held their own. I thought we were in the game.
Actually, didn't you pick the Knicks to win this
game? I did, and we almost did. We were right there. It was just like one stop. I think Kyrie made it a magnificent play, as he usually does, and we had the ball at the back end of the game. I think this is the game that Randle missed a shot to go to overtime. He decided not to take the three, and he went driving and did a fadeaway kind of mid-range shot, and he missed it. But it was a good shot. He had a good look.
No, it was a good shot. It could have won it, but it didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'll if you tell me, hey, I'm gonna give it a Randle, he's gonna get this kind of shot, I'll take that every time. So.
And the other thing about it is, well, this is just my personal thing. I have this with certain players in the league, and I think I mentioned it to you with Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a team playing a team with Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, and it's a close game down the stretch in the fourth quarter, you are in trouble because those guys are finishers. It's tough. You don't know if they get the ball and they have a chance to win it.
Right, and plus they make the right plays too. Like those guys, those playmaker guys, those legitimate all-star Hall of Fame type players. If they don't make the shot, they make the right play to give someone else the open shot. Now that's the big key.
And mind you, when I was watching this game, the Knicks had decided to double team Kyrie Irving for the majority of the game, right? And then there was a point which made me hate him for a second. There was a point in the fourth quarter where the double team was coming, and this was like crunch time, like 4 minutes left.
Yeah, the turnover?
No. Before the double team was coming, and Peyton waved them off. Like, I got him. And Kyrie immediately hit a three right in his face. Like, it's just like,
there's no letdown with those guys. That's the thing. And I mean,
then you got to keep your plan. If you got something that's working, you got to keep it going.
Yeah, and she's super talented too. So I mean, but also you also keep in mind, like I think right before he hit the three, he had the turnover.
Yeah,
or I think that does.
Or
it was right after. You know what I mean? So it was one of the two. So, but either way, I think those are just players you can't like. You can play them straight up and lose, or you can double them and still lose because they're gonna find the open player. You know what I mean?
But
So,
that's the thing. Like in this case, when you're playing the Nets with no Griffin,
mhm,
with no Harden, with no Durant,
right,
and you decide to double team Kyrie, then double team Kyrie and let somebody else beat you. If they beat you, hey, okay.
right. It's a
But don't
yeah,
let Kyrie beat you.
true, true. That's true. That's a true statement. Um, I can't recall how that full ending went, but I know he did hit a clutch three at the back end of that
Oh yeah,
game.
no, I was
I don't
like,
know if
I
it
was
was the
pissed.
dagger though. I'm not sure if that
No,
was the dagger though. I
it
don't know if it
wasn't
was
a
the dagger.
dagger, but what it did
Right.
was it gave them a bit, like it extended their little lead.
Yeah, I
And
think it
then
brought them up by 5, and then they made the
yeah,
turnover,
yeah.
and then we
And
got
then
some.
it is what it is, man.
But look, we were right there, so I wasn't mad at the loss. Like I left the loss, my son was pretty upset. He was like bummed out, and I was like, "Look, that's a game we would have liked to win, but come on. In reality, is like that's where we want to get. We want to get to a point where we can, compete to that level with those sort of players and be able to like, you know, finish. Because if Randall hits, let's say if Randall shoots the three, or we make a play to shoot a three, we either win or lose that game, right? If you go for overtime now, so it's like it's a you pick your poison because that
Right.
shot is only going to get you to overtime. You're not going to win. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's one of those. Um, but yeah, I'm like I said, it wasn't a letdown for me. It was just I wish we would have came out victorious for that one. We did. I picked that one. I think you didn't pick that one. I think you
No,
picked the
I didn't think they
loss.
were going to beat the Nets. No.
Right. And then so
And then the funny thing is, we go at these games not knowing exactly what's going on. If you would have
right.
told me the Knicks are going to play the Nets and only Kyrie's going to be there, I would have picked the Knicks.
Right. But how will we know that? Like,
Yeah,
we
you
wouldn't
don't
know
know.
that. You
Well,
don't know that.
whatever.
So yeah, so then we let the Boston game. That was another interesting close game. Like we were playing really good, teams, right? So now we go into Boston, and a really strong defensive team, very well coached team. I think Brown was on fire. Tatum was getting his, and Marcus and Smart. Is it Marcus Smart?
Yeah, yeah.
Marcus Smart. He did it again to us.
He does Marcus Smart things, man.
He did it again to us. He like for a guy who doesn't really shoot the ball well at a high percentage or a high clip. When he plays the Knicks, he makes big threes, and it's like, come on, And he's a smart player. He's one of those gritty players who, to be honest with you, if there's anyone on that team that I would like outside of Tatum, of course, he's an all-star. It would be someone like Smart to run your team. Like I wouldn't mind a Marcus Smart, point guard of a Knicks. I mean, he's very similar to like Peyton. I thought Peyton's games today really showed a lot of that, but
Mm-hmm.
defensively, I think Marcus Smart is a lot stronger than what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have.
He's a bulldog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. I can't be mad at him. This was another game.
Mm-hmm.
This, I look at games like the Net game and the Celtic game as place setters.
Right.
Because that is just another. It's more of that same thing around the league. Wow, Knicks lost to the Nets by 2. Knicks lost
You're right.
to the Celtics by 2. Yeah, Knicks is a tough team. They're right there.
Right. And what's evident is that even in games that we lose, for the most part, if I look outside of the Nets game, who are, of course, they score the ball as with the best of them, we're keeping teams mostly under their average for the season, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, look, 101. We kept Pistons at 89. We kept the Mavericks at 99. We kept the Celtics at 101. The Nets are generally around 125, right? So they're at 114. The Grizzly game was the only one that I could look at and say
Yeah, but that was also overtime. So
OT, right? Exactly. So we are doing what we are intending to do defensively because we're keeping teams under their average.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, I could be confusing the games. Wasn't the Grizzly game Knicks had like an 18-point lead?
We did. We let them back in it. But that's the thing. That third quarter is kind of a tough quarter for us, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
But we went up a couple of times against the Celtics too. I think we had like 8 point lead at one time, and like where we were hitting shots, and then we lost it, and then so it's one of those weird things where we have opportunities to like stretch the game out, and then we start taking poor shots.
yeah.
But the one thing I did remember from this game, the Celtics game, is that there was a lingering. I think Randall was still dealing with some lingering issues with his leg. I know he had banged his leg up, and he was really dealing with lingering issues, so he didn't have a lot of jump to his game. You know, like he didn't have that much free will. So it seemed like he was still healing.
Hmm.
So when we came off of that game, though, that Grizzly game, he had hops on that game. Like he was really into that game. He had a lot of energy. It seemed like whatever bruise he had kind of healed, and he really took it to the Grizzlies. He showed up against the Grizzlies for sure.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, hey, man, he's a class act now. I like him a lot.
What is he? 6 triple doubles? Is he in line in something like that for the year?
It's definitely 5 or 6. I can't remember, but
I
yeah,
think it's 6
definitely.
because it was like they were throwing stats up today about like how many players have done like 6 triple doubles in a year or something like that. But I think he's up there. I think he's in like 6, and I think he's 2 away from the Knicks all-time record or something like that.
Scroll down a little bit.
Sure, I'm gonna move that down. Give me 2 seconds. Oh. All right.
Okay, so we're all right. No, I see. All right. So yeah, so I mean, I guess the Grizzlies game, and then we went into the Raptors game, which I thought the Raptors was another good win because even though the Raptors have had issues, the Raptors' issues are not so much that their team is that different. They still got pretty much the same team they've had,
Right.
minus Kawhi, but because they haven't been able to play at their home arena and they've been
Mm-hmm.
traveling a lot, it's really taken the toll on them. They've had injuries, but
Right.
they
Van Fleet
for
was
the
out
most
on
part,
this one.
yeah, for the most
Yeah.
part, they've been playing, pretty
Mhm.
good. So that was a good game. It was a
Yeah,
good
it
win.
was a good game. It was a great win. Siakam, they held Siakam from his they really held him in check. Kyle Lowry did what Kyle Lowry does. Um, you know, he's gonna be that bulldog, another bulldog that we play against, point guard. So that's one of the things when we look at point guard play and how we match up. We've done really, really well against really quality, strong point guards, quality point guards. We've held our own on that side of it. And I think it's been a trickle effect where if sometimes, quickly gets off and then maybe it's Quickly and Rose. I know Quickly and Rose had a really good game. I think that was against the Grizzlies. Or it may have been against the Raptors. I can't recall. But, like you get everyone is like, putting in a lot of effort, especially in point guard play. And like today, for instance, it was Peyton, so it's good that we have those combo guards all showing up. Burks, we ain't talk about Burks. Fourth quarter, Burks, man, he's been killing it. He's been
Yeah,
killing
no,
it.
Burks has been great, man. He's been great.
Yeah,
He didn't play that well today, but that's okay. He's played well
he's
enough.
played
Yeah,
well, man, and he's played like the point. He's been playing the point position. Like the ball is going through him in the fourth quarter. He's making some amazing plays. Kicking it out to the right people, or he'll hit big shots at the close of games. It's been delightful to see. So today Bullocks was hitting daggers, stretching the game out. It's like, oh, Bullocks again. He had 2 threes in a row, and then it was like, oh, okay, he's helping out. So it's like those are the things, man.
and he was another guy who couldn't buy a bucket like for the first 3 quarters. So
Exactly.
that's the thing. That's what you have to do as a good team. You got to
Right.
hang around so that things that aren't working can start working.
Yeah. We talked about the Laker game, so I'm gonna stop sharing right now.
Yeah, yeah. We can stop sharing for now. We can
Let's
come back
stop
to this when
sharing. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
man,
I mean, I think this has been a great stretch, man. These 10
five
games,
and five,
five and
man.
five, can't be mad at it at all. Especially,
Absolutely.
knowing some of the competition in there. You look at it
Hmm.
like, hey, that's pretty good, pretty good.
You're right. I'll take that any day of the week. I mean, it's 2 weeks swing, 5 and 5. We're one game over 500. I like our odds. We're right. We're in the mix, man. That was the hope from the beginning. Like we was hoping that we have a competitive team from the start of the season. That was our hope. And I don't think there's any Knicks fans who would have thought they would have been at this position right now. I mean, we'd have probably been like lying to ourselves a bit and saying, yo, we got a better team than we do, especially knowing we came back with similar players.
Right,
We didn't really
right.
come back with much difference outside of Burks. We didn't really make that many moves. So, or a Taj Gibson move, would have thought that we would have been. No, we weren't looking like that. We weren't thinking about that. So, um, we're in a great
Although
place, man.
I will tell you that I don't know why I was using him as the barometer. I've mentioned him a couple times already. And oddly enough, in my mind, I was also looking at LeBron once again, saying to myself, I could see LeBron not now because of the history that it's tainted. But
Right.
if LeBron was to walk away from the Lakers and he still wanted to play, I could see him saying the Knicks are a type of team that I could go to because they
Now,
already. Yeah, no,
now
I
for
know
sure.
now
Right.
because they've got young talent and they have a sound defensive strategy. Like it doesn't
Right.
take much to take that team to the next level. You bring a guy like LeBron, he does his little thing and sprinkles some other people there, and they're coming out the East. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just how it is.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
I just thought it was very interesting when I looked at it because the Knicks have really they've got Randall, right? And then a budding star in RJ, and that's it. Because even though we
Yeah.
think Quickly could be something special too, he's not there yet. And then
Yeah.
everybody else is just key role players that are just buying in and playing well.
Hmm.
You put another big star on the team or a good star on the team and then add like another really good complementary player, that team is making real noise, like running through. But whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we're bound to get there somehow. You know what I mean? I
Mhm,
think it's just that we may be a player or two away from
mhm.
being a real contender for conversations around like can we become a championship team, but I think it all remains to be seen on what moves we are able to make in the off season.
Right.
What our draft options look like. All of that, aside though. All of that aside though, this year has been a successful year in my opinion.
Fantastic,
It's been like
fantastic.
super enjoyable to watch.
If it finished today, I'd be ecstatic. I'd be
Oh,
like, this has
of
been a
course.
great year for them.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. It could get even better. We'll see.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be in the mix, man. I don't, I think we're gonna win some games that we're like probably looking at like, huh, I would have never picked this before, but now I'm willing to pick them. I'm
Right.
willing to put the Knicks as a winner in certain games. It's
Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I hear you.
Um,
Well, that kind of brings me to being that, we've got a nice stretch of 10 games and there's a lot of stuff that's happened over these games.
right.
Like, who do you think the risers and the fallers are? Um,
Okay.
I'll
I'll
let you
go.
start. You can
I'll
go
go
with
right
your
ahead
riser.
with my riser. It's going to be R.J. Barrett,
What?
although he had he didn't have the best shooting game this today, in this game against the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
But the consistency throughout, he's been there. He's been super consistent. He's been our number two. He's shown up in big games. He's won a big game recently. And yeah, man, if it wasn't for him, we lose against the Grizzlies.
Yep.
You know,
That's a
so
fact.
that's a
That is a
fact. You
fact.
can't get that win without him. Because John Morant hit some big shots, and he's like, we got somebody who can step up, and it was, young Barrett who stepped up and showed out. So, he kept us in the game and he hit a big clutch shot at the end. So,
Yep.
nothing more that we can
And
ask from.
he hit three big free throws. He got fouled on a
Yeah.
3-point. Yeah, and he hit the three big free throws. Those were huge.
Ice cold veins, man. And then Randall followed up that game with the Raptor game and did kind of similar stuff. He was like,
Yeah,
okay, you got one,
exactly.
I'll do the same thing.
This is what I'm
So
talking about. This is a beautiful
it's
thing.
good.
Yeah, no, I
Who
definitely see that. I agree with you. I like
who do
that.
you have as your riser?
Well, my riser you already kind of mentioned. It was Burks because
Nice. Yeah.
I thought Burks was really. I think Burks may have won us a couple games
Oh
just by
yeah.
how hot and consistent his shooting was. Because you know, it's sometimes it's not necessarily about the big shot,
Hmm.
but about not allowing the other team to capitalize and take the lead and expand on the lead. And
Hmm.
him hitting his shots kept the Knicks in control.
Yeah.
So I thought he was great.
And he's
Very
played a
clutch.
really good defense, man. Like
Yeah, no,
I
he's been
look at
great,
his
man.
defensive game and I'm like, man, he's still true and true, probably our best defender, on-ball defender. You know, between him and Barrett, I want to say, like two of our best on-ball defenders. You know, um,
Hmm.
you see it shows up at the end of games a lot. But I
No,
definitely like that pick of Burks though, because Burks been lighting it up.
yeah, no,
So
I definitely think he deserves it.
yeah,
Um, Going the
Fallers.
opposite way. Ugh. Um, this is actually not hard, but it's good because the person I would normally pick or have been picking, he doesn't deserve it this time around because he
Right.
actually has played pretty good. Normally, I'd pick Obi
Toppin?
Toppin,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but Toppin has done a couple of things. He had some games where he scored, and there was one game he was really aggressive. I really
Mm-hmm.
liked watching it. I want more of that. So
Mm-hmm.
because of that, takes him out of the running. I'm
Right.
gonna say a faller is Nilakina
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know where Nilakina is right now. Have you seen Nilakina? Because I don't know
Yeah,
where he's at.
it's he's on the bench again. He found his way back out of the rotation. I think he showed up for like the last minute of the game defensively. He even added a foul.
Ah,
So
man, yeah.
I mean,
I feel like Frankie Baby could be doing a little bit more, but right now you can't mess with what's working. So
yeah, and when you have Rose back and Quickly back, there isn't much room with that because you got
no,
Burks playing at a high level, Bullock's playing at a high level. So that's four guards there. So there's no way, there's no room for him at that point, unless you're trying to play him in a three. And at that point, you're just gonna go small, and I don't think it works.
yeah,
Um, my faller, which is weird because it's not necessarily a faller, but I want to say faller for inconsistent play. I'm going to say is Quick. I think
mm,
Quickly hasn't been the most consistent player that we have on like coming out and playing heavy minutes. So I'm gonna look at him and say his stock has fallen a bit. But I think he's also one of those kids who kind of he grinds through it. He'll have a bad game, then he'll come back with a good game. Like today, for instance, he didn't have a lot of shots, but I would consider today a good game. Where he was aggressive, he got some shots. He wasn't on like the quickly they hits like 14 points, 16 points. He wasn't on like that, but you can tell his good games. I think his good games outweigh his bad games, but still the inconsistency. I want to see his growth being more consistent as a consistent shooter from the 3-point arc,
yeah,
consistent playmaker. You know what I mean? I see him, kind of like caught in between a lot, and I think it's growing pains for him, But I'm glad that he's been given the opportunity. Coach Tibbs believes in the kid, mostly because he shoots a high percentage from the free throw line, and he plays D. Like he really puts the effort in. So gotta give him all
no,
the credit.
excuse me. I agree with you. I think
Yeah.
actually, it's a very good pick, and I think what Quickly is going through right now is something that most rookies go through.
Right.
The NBA season is a grind, and he's
Yeah.
past that point where his college season would have been over.
True.
So you know what I mean? Like they're getting to
Because
that
the
point where
first 30 plus games, it was quick, quick, quick,
there
right?
you
Like it
go.
was all about
Exactly.
IQ. So yeah. If it had ended during the college season, he would have been up for the running of like rookie of the year for
Yeah,
facts,
exactly.
without question.
And that's the same. This is the same thing that happened with Barrett with RJ
Right.
last year. Like
Right.
but in conversely
Right.
or adversely, this year RJ's played through it so he, his body's, he knows what to expect. He's the grind, the haul. So
Right.
that's why he's playing better this year. So
Yeah, it just comes with
yeah,
maturity, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
just being able to play the game and play as up to that. It's what are we doing? We not this season is not a full 82 games though, right?
it's
We
70,
short by 72. It's short by 10.
short by 10.
Yeah. So still, I mean, it's
But
still
that's still
past the
way more
threshold.
than way more than they play
Right.
like 30
Exactly.
games, like you said.
Exactly. So I agree. I mean, that's why I would pick him. It's just seen, but I really think that there's gonna come a part within the season where he's gonna be like, okay, I know what I'm strong and I'm where I'm good at, and I'm gonna stay consistent in that. And I think that's gonna give him all the confidence in the world, especially the last 10 to 12 games of the season. So I'm hopeful.
I'm with you on that. So what do you think as far as going into the next few
Yeah,
games that we got? Uh,
let's talk
let's
about it
predict
because
what we got going on.
sure. Let me share out my screen right quick. Go back to that. Okay, here we go. And there we go. Um, all right. So we have the Pelicans. So today is what? Today is
Monday,
Monday. Yeah. I'm about to say Tuesday. So today was Monday's game, the Lakers. We have the Pelicans, we have the Mavericks, and then the
and then we got the
Pelicans
Pelicans
again.
again.
So we got a back-to-back against the Pelicans. And we'll
That
probably
could be tough.
come on probably on Friday after the Mavericks game if we can.
Oh
See if
no, the
we can
Mavericks is the West
try to.
Coast game,
Yeah, that's a
9:30
9:30
stuff.
game. Right.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
maybe
late one.
not. I don't know.
Yeah, you're true. That's a late one. Um, well, we'll figure it out. If not that, we'll probably try for a Saturday or something like that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, that's interesting. Pelicans twice in the week, huh?
that's a big game because this is the first time we're gonna see that Pelican team, and they've been locking in on all cylinders. Like they're a tough team to beat. They
Yeah,
got
they've
Ingram
got some
playing really
veterans on their
good.
team. Yeah.
Zion
This
is at a all-time high. He's kind of at his Barkley stage right now. You remember the young Barkley? He's right there. He's scoring 30 buckets a game, getting double doubles. He's not a triple double guy, really. He's more of a double double guy, but he's a legit scorer. Down, you know. He's a threat,
this actually
especially
is
in the
tough.
post.
The Knicks could lose all three of these games.
Hey, wait a minute though. We have a revenge game.
That's my saving grace because this is tough. The revenge game, yeah. So I'm gonna say the Knicks lose that first game against the Pelicans because I don't think they know exactly what they're getting into yet. They got to see them in action, and I think they'll beat the Mavericks, and then I think they'll beat the Pelicans after seeing them that once, and then coming back to the Garden to play them. I think
Right.
they have a good chance. So I'm going 2-1 in these next three. What you think?
I'm gonna go 2-1 also, but in the opposite direction. I think we're gonna win the first one because the Pelicans wouldn't have seen this sort of defense played against them. I'm going
Okay.
in that route, and then I think they make adjustments, and they probably come out victorious on the afternoon game at our stadium, at our arena. And
Got it. Okay.
I'm definitely picking the Knicks over the Mavericks because I didn't like that loss. I want to see the Knicks calendar and like calendar that game in and put the kind of focus they had today against those Mavericks, because if we could beat the Lakers, we should be able to beat the Mavericks. If we beat a really good Grizzlies team, like we need, like all we have to do is go out and get out there and run against the Mavericks. They're a slow paced team.
Yeah, and then I was just gonna say I like the fact of coming off against the Pelicans who are up, they're running. Right. I like that style of basketball going into the Mavericks game.
Right.
Because we may come at the Mavericks at a little faster pace.
Yeah, because the Mavericks slow it down. The Mavericks don't really run the ball like that. They are slow. They're a slow paced team. So we come off of a game with the Pelicans, and we got what full day's rest. We should have fresh legs for that. It's a Friday night game, Friday night Knicks. We're ready to go. They just got to bring that energy, and run on those guys. Make them run because they don't like to run. So
Yeah, no, I'm with it. I'm with it. So I like that. Yeah, I like this. Being a 2-1 type of situation. So
I'm gonna
I'm with
stop
that.
sharing right now so we can go to. Yeah, I agree. This is a nice stretch of game. We came through a 2-week stretch of games. We got 5-5 on a 10-game. Within 10 games, and now we got 3 games this week. Both of us are picking 2-1. It's gonna be good. Let's see who's right about which 2-1. Imagine we get the both Pelican games and lose the Mavericks game. That would be funny.
Man, that would not be good. I mean, I'd still be happy with the 2-1,
Yeah,
but I
we
will
get the
not be happy
2-1.
with that one.
Yeah, I know, because we keep giving them those wins we need to take. So gotta get
Yeah,
that draft lotto. We gotta get that. We gotta get a good pick. But
yeah,
we'll see.
man. Well, hopefully they just come out and keep playing the way they're playing, keep showing this type of effort, and good things happen.
Yeah.
When you put the effort out, it could go either way, but you give yourself a chance to win every game. So
Yeah. And that's all they've been doing all season, So
yeah.
super proud of the team. I love the way it's been coached. I love the way the players are playing. Can't go wrong, man. Knicks all the way. We got some. We got some this year.
Oh man, this was great once again, man. I'm happy to be able to chop it up with you.
Yeah.
And
And
get
we're
back into the
back.
Nick talk. Yes, yes, we are back.
Back.
Jose, thank you for holding it down once again for us,
Absolutely.
brother. You know, to you guys out there, thank you for tuning in once again to the Still Nick Fans podcast. We're gonna keep coming back with more and more content. Definitely like and subscribe to the channel. Keep looking for new alerts as to what's coming up, because I think that we might be able to start doing some new things in the few next few weeks or next few months. I don't want to put a timetable on it, but I feel like some things are going to be happening. So look out
Nice.
for that. And
Sounds
definitely
great.
feel free to comment and look for us on Instagram or Twitter at Still Nick Fans. Yeah, man, we're just going to keep doing it. We're just going to keep doing it.
Keep pushing, man. Like, again, we took the hiatus off. Now we're back. We're gonna finish out strong.
Yeah,
And
I'm with
hopefully
that.
get into the playoffs, and we have some things to talk about in the playoffs.
Yeah,
That's what
playoff.
it looks
I
like.
mean, you think the Knicks season has been great. Playoff Knick basketball is crazy.
Yeah. Facts. That is a
Yeah,
fact.
man. All right, brother. Well, once again, you have a great night.
You too.
It's a pleasure. Jose, thanks for holding it down once again.
Yeah.
You
We
viewers
out of
out
here.
there, we'll see you next time. We out of here.
All right. Peace.